Good evening, Lioness community. We have another stream to go with Holly's Hotspurs and Albert JTV. Remarkable comeback is an understatement. I'm still recovering from last night. There's so much to talk about. What a game, what a team, little bit of luck. But we're in the semi-finals, people. But before we get into the match review of Sweden 2, England 2, England with 3-2 on penalties. Let's hit the intro. We'll be back soon, people. Yes, good evening, people. Welcome back to Albert JTV and Holly's Hotspurs. Double collaboration time. Nothing like a quiet Thursday evening that happened last night in Switzerland. Wow. Yeah, I've seen football a long time, but I've not seen anything like that, particularly with the England Lionesses over many years. But people, obliterate the like button, smash the likes for both me and Holly's Hotspurs. And if you watch on Albert JTV, and you see Holly's Hotspurs highlighted in blue, click and subscribe, and vice versa if Holly's even actually managed to highlight it in blue, which I'm going to take my word for it that she hasn't done it because I know what she's like with technology. But you know the drill, people. Audio listeners, apologies for the late start. If you're wondering why there's so much music and no talking, it's because, again, a late day at work for yours truly, Albert JTV. Holly had a nice session in the beer garden. Which is quite a regular occurrence for my dear co-host. Well, Holly, where do I start apart from good evening and welcome back to another show?
Oh, I'm excited. Yes, I was in the beer garden. I have had a few, but you know what? I was in high spirits and celebrating the win after last night because, my word, I thought supporting Spurs was stress. Jeez, that game last night, so many different emotions, but I'm so glad that we are through to the semi-final. But how are you, Albert?
Well, I'm still glad you managed to still get Spurs in there, even though it's an England tournament international. I mean, I've told you about this before in the guidelines. We've done many tournaments together. No, I'm joking. I love you, Holly. Anyway, but yeah, I'm all right, man. That game was crazy. And you know what? Let's just get into it. So England went in with the same team, which it wasn't a major surprise really, because they had two good performances. Annihilating the Welsh, and obviously a fantastic performance against the Dutch, or the Netherlands, as some people say. But unfortunately, the start of the game yesterday was reminiscent of the first game against France. And the warning signs were there. I think before that game yesterday, Sweden only conceded, is it one goal in their games in the tournament so far? It's not the Swedish side of when England played them in Euros in 22. They're a better side, and they got some really, really good players. And Holly, unfortunately, they exposed England in the first half. And when you could see the goal in 2 minutes, that is absolutely not the start we should have. Holly, come in.
No, I think you're right. And like you kind of said, it was kind of that of the first game. Because we were suffocated. Again, a loose ball, a silly pass straight into the hands of Sweden. And they capitalised on it. And fair play to them. Because it was a great finish as well across goal in the back of the bottom corner. And again, I was kind of sat there thinking, oh, God, here we go again. We're out before we've even started. And don't get me wrong, like we'll get into the second half later. But it took us a long time to kind of find our rhythm. But yeah, like I said, when I just saw that first goal in, within 2 minutes as well, you're thinking, oh my word, what are we doing? I don't know about you. It obviously then still continues to get suffocated. And there's a lot of talk, obviously, that we spoke about in the first game with Carter, etc. And the second goal, I feel like she was run ragged for that second goal as well.
I mean, where do you want me to start, Holly? I mean, we're before the watershed, so I won't go in too hard. Yeah, I mean, England would have done their homework in terms of the dangers of Sweden. And as France did in the wide areas tore England to pieces, stretched them. Midfield physicality again, matched with a lack of tenacity and intensity. And Jess Carter, for the first goal was at fault. Kira Walsh was at fault for the first goal. I thought she was actually quite poor yesterday. I actually don't think she had a good tournament, Holly, to be honest. But you know how much I love Kira Walsh, but it's not been good so far. But yeah, just really, really lackluster and poor. And then it didn't really get any better in the game, really. I just felt England, I don't know why defensively they were so bad, especially in that first half. And let's have it right, it could have got worse.
Yeah.
The pass wasn't great to Hannah Hampton because she drilled it about 300 miles an hour, which didn't help. And then the first touch was awful. And I thought, oh my God, I thought Black Stennis was going to make it too. And obviously, an Arsenal striker there, as you know. But yeah. Leah Williamson got us out of a hole, and because that could have been 2-0 after about, I'm checking when that was. It's 4 minutes. They scored in 2 minutes, and then 2 minutes later, they must have scored. It made it 2-0. So, Holly, what did you think after that? And also, obviously, we had one chance when Lauren Hemp hit the bar. But what was the issue for you in the first half of England?
I think it's like you said, we just kind of got too suffocated. We were making our own problems. And we spoke about that in the first game. And it was weird because the 2 games prior to this, we were so dominant. We got our passing back on click. We were managing to find space in between. We weren't predictable. But in this game, it just kind of, I don't know if we were just seemed too shaky. We weren't getting control of the game. And Sweden came out the blocks right from the off. Like we said, in the first 2 minutes, they scored. And the next 2, that could have been 2-0 up. And we could have been really sat there thinking, oh, my word, what we're going to do. And like you said, we speak so highly of Kira Walsh, but I don't think she is having the best of tournaments.
Just to come in quickly. So, I mean, I don't, obviously, people both know the clubs we support, but even the bits I saw of Kira Walsh at Chelsea, I'm like, And in some of the England games, she's not. We're not talking about a player who's in the last furlong of her career. I think she's 25, 26, maybe. I'll have to fact check that. Kerry, check, please. Let us know how old Kira Walsh is. But no, she's not been good. I mean, her and Stanway were better in the game against the Dutch. But I'll come back to what I said before. When you got pace and physicality, and you're chucking intensity to that, I'm not surprised England struggled yesterday. They knew the dangers of Sweden. I listened to our full manager, Arsenal, Jonas Eideveld, and obviously it was Ellen White and Farrah Williams, yeah. And they spoke about the dangers. They got pace out wide, and Sweden, and Black Tennis is really good. She does get in behind and she does run the channels really, really well. But Carter was playing in a preferred position, man. And it was worse. I mean, the second goal. I mean, Holly, I'll tell you how I thought when I saw it. I watched it. I thought, okay, she's, Black Tennis has got a few yards on her, but you still have to do pretty well to score from there. I know they said Leah could have come over, but maybe, yes, no, I don't know. But I just don't think, for me, Carter as a centre-back, you should be getting done there to the point that she's managed to get a shot off in the 6-yard box. Your thoughts, Holly? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's true. When you watch it again on the recap, it is bizarre because, like you say, could Leah come across? I don't think so, because at that point, Carter is pretty much man for her, but Black Tennis has got more of a stride, which means she gets further ahead, which meant she then got the shot off. I think it was quite harsh to try and get Leah across because Carter is literally man for man. And that being said, you kind of expect her to put a foot in or kind of put a shoulder in just to put her off balance, but there was none of it. It was just too easy. And like you said, the fact that we kind of knew that she was going to be good on that wing with her pace, you would have thought Carter maybe would have stepped back a few yards to anticipate that kind of happening. But yeah, I don't know. It is really difficult because, like we say, we spoke about previously about her playing not in her natural position, but this was her natural position. So you would have thought with a footballing head on, she would have been right, she's got the yards on me, she's got the pace on me, I'm going to step back a bit. But it wasn't really like that.
The thing is, you're playing against a striker you play against week in, week out.
Exactly.
This wasn't a shock. You never seen Blackstone before. He played against her week in, week out for Chelsea. But England, I mean, I still get to. I remember giving big. I was trying to get Kenny Ken to come on tonight, but we'll try and get him on. Kenny, he knows about women's football and he lets on, trust me. But we just saying that there's so many gaps in the England side. It was awful. Like, just there were times when England were in their half and one turnover ball, and England having to retreat 10, 15 yards. I'm like, what is going on here? Where's the control? That Sweden they're very, very Scandinavian sides, to be fair to them, men and women's football, they're very well drilled. It's particularly the Swedish, and they were giving England no room at all. And even when we talk about the first goal, Aslani's a really top player. We said it on the brief summary coming into the game. If England don't defend properly, they're going to be ripped to pieces, and they were. I'm going to try and get some stats up. It's not going to give a reflection the first half, unfortunately, but I'll sort of, audio listeners, I'll talk through sort of the stream. But when it comes second half, we'll move to second half, Holly, because there's a game to watch on as well. France v Switzerland, quite a big one. There's a big one tomorrow, France Germany. At that point, I don't know how you felt in terms of what Serena could do. I said at the time, I was messaging quite a few people, to be honest, David and Sophie and Kenny in between. And at that point, I thought, take Toon off. Just be bold. Take her off. Not saying she had a poor game, but I just thought, you're 2-0 down. You've got 45 minutes plus to save this and not go out the tournament. I would have bought on the two changes I would have made. I think I said to Sophie, I would have bought on Agyemang, and I would have bought on Grace Clinton. Those were the two changes, and I would have made them at halftime, if I'm going to be honest with you. But I knew Serena, to be honest, I don't know if I didn't think she would do that because she hasn't done it in the previous games anyway. But what was your thoughts? Did you think stick with this team for the first sort of 5 minutes of second half and see where it goes, or where was you thinking in terms of possible changes?
I was kind of a bit like you in the sense that I knew she wasn't going to do it, but I wanted her to, because you can't be 2-0 down and not make any changes at halftime, especially because we've spoken about this before, especially at a point where you're seeing misled passes, you're seeing us getting suffocated out on the wing. And I'm thinking, mate, just make a change. But I feel like Serena, I'm not Serena, and obviously it worked out well in the end. But I feel like she's so stubborn that she doesn't want to change her ways. And I feel like she does want to give those players that extra chance to be like, no, let's turn this around second half. I'll have my team talk. We'll go back out there. Things will be different. And obviously, it didn't really get different. So we made those changes. And then the change afterwards that saw Chloe Kelly come on, because she's been insane. And I'm sure we'll speak about that. But for me,
of course,
I just wanted those changes early for it to be more of an impact, because I don't think we even had an impact. I don't think there was much change in the start of that second half.
No, just a quick breakaway, people. All the listeners, sorry, I just said Mariana Caldente's missed a penalty for Spain. Oh dear, still 0-0 there. Holly, quick fact. England shootout win drew 7.4 million TV viewers. Wow. I think they said it was 5 billion for the France-England game. So that's good stuff, man. But yeah, I saw a title on the BBC Sport website. Resilience, luck, and subs is England's winning formula at the moment. And it's true. Because it's been a mixed bag this tournament. The first game didn't show up. Second game absolutely showed up and more. Third game, I thought they would obviously beat the Welsh, but the second half, I'm going to be honest, I got to about I thought, give it 5. If you're not going to make the subs, give it 10, 15 minutes, and you have to make the changes, because for me, that game was just ticking along, man. And they could have made it 3-0, and that game would have been dead and buried. And it got to 60 minutes. I thought, and I was thinking, this is getting ridiculous. And it got to 65 minutes. And I sent a voice note to Sophie Demon. There was a few obscenities in there in terms of you need to make changes now because you're going home. You are going home. I was trying to find some stats on it. I've got them. I'm going to bring them up in a minute. But she bought on. Let me get this right. Bought off Toon, Carter and Stanway, and she brought on, was it Ajimang,
Beth, and Esme Morgan.
And Esme. Yeah, I didn't. You know what? I know Carter wasn't having a great game, but I genuinely didn't see that coming. Because Esme Morgan's she's not had that many caps for England. So that's a big call to bring her on. Because I don't think I'm not that people in the chat, you can tell me if I got this wrong, but I don't remember Esme Morgan being blessed with pace. So yeah, it's a bold move to bring her on. But the bringing on Chloe Kelly and Ajimang, it completely changed the game. Because I thought England I didn't think they played well in the second half until the subs. 20 minutes to go plus. And Holly, we were back in it. Our main goal, our Chloe Kelly, as we know, has got fantastic delivery, dead balls, corners, crosses, great ball to the back stick, and best you know it, who got on the end of it? Lucy Bronze. Holly talks, so we get the goal, and that was 78 minutes. We got the goal there with the Chloe Kelly cross, brilliant cross into the far stick, and Lucy Bronze gives England hope.
Yeah, definitely. And I think as well, obviously, we talk about impact subs. Chloe Kelly was literally on the pitch for less than a minute? And she comes on and puts a ball in like that. And then we talk about game changers. My word, she is insane. And I've got to give Bronze a bit of credit here, because I know that we were talking in that first game about the fact that maybe it's time for the old guard to maybe let the baton kind of move on. But Lucy Bronze kind of showed why she's in this team, because she's part of the old guard, but she's still got that kind of winning mentality. She's got that kind of part of being part of the team. She's been there, done it, knows what it's like to be under pressure. And she showed it, because she managed to get that goal, that first goal, with a superb kind of back post. I think it was a header, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, it was. Great cross.
Fantastic cross. I did win my darts. I looked over and saw the ball go in the back of the net, and the whole pub went nuts. So yeah, no, going back to the point, Chloe Kelly coming on, game changer, and Bronze being part of the old guard, level-headed, so cool under pressure, putting it in the back of the net, which kind of led on to the next goal, because that wasn't much later after, was it?
No, I think they got two goals in about 3 minutes. I mean, Michelle the Truth Ajimang, that's what we call her, man. Listen, we said it. I mean, anyone could see the change, and England getting that goal as soon as the two girls came on, Ajimang and Chloe Kelly, it completely shifted the game. Completely. Great pictures, by the way, of Ajimang. I mean, she came on, power, pace, physicality. Holly, I must have been asleep in that game, because I don't remember her pick up the yellow card.
No, I
she
don't
got booked. Yeah, she got booked. I was like, when did that happen? But she had a half chance before that, but her touch let her down. I think it was a cross from Greenwood or Hemp. I can't remember. But yeah, I mean, great ball in it came from Chloe Kelly to Russo, Ricochet and Ajibang. It's absolutely pandemonium where I was anyway. But and it's 2-2 within the space of it was incredible. And a quick shout out to Lucy Bronze, and I don't say things very, very lightly, because I actually thought she's one of the better players for England in the first half. You know, England weren't brilliant, but I would have to go and look back through some archives of footage. I thought she was phenomenal for England last night by a country mile. You know, people talked about the leadership coming into the tournament. That young lady answered that, because she was phenomenal, absolutely brilliant. And you know, it started from her getting the goal to make it 2-1. Michelle the Truth Ajimang came on and made it 2-2, and the game completely changed. It was incredible, because before that, England were going home. They was not creating anything. They kind of kept Lauren James main at the game, really. I don't really remember England putting together many passages of play, apart from, I think, Lauren Hemp had about 5 minutes after the second half. To me, she's got to score that. She's got to hit the target. You see that coming. Great cross in from, I think it's Lauren James. But Holly, the game, it was insane. When it was 2-2, I did think England could win it, because Sweden were really on the back foot. I think it rocked them to go 2-1. And when it went to 2-2, they were just looking perplexed. And they could have won it, Holly. They could have won it. Great ball in. I think it was a great ball from Lauren James to to send Ajimang on her way. If people saying I should have passed it, I thought she passed at the right time. Now I don't know what you thought, and I love Leslie Richard. She plays for my club, but you've got to move that on one to your left. I don't know who it was at the back stick, but you see that pass, and I think they've got a better opportunity. Come in.
Yeah, it's difficult because obviously when you're kind of in the moment and you see the goal in front of you and you're like, right, if I score this, that's it. I'm the winner. I'm not saying that Russo would think like that, but I do kind of get it. If you've got the goal in front of you, the last thing you kind of think of is I'm going to pass it to the other side of me. And I also think as well, at the time...
I don't think she had a good touch, to be honest, the first touch.
No, and I think we've spoken about this quite a lot in terms of there's been a lot of people saying, oh, she's a striker, why is she not scoring more? I think we've spoken about this before, the fact that her assists bring to this game.
Yeah.
And maybe she's got that on her mind, but I haven't scored enough goals. I'm not going to pass it the other way. I'm going to have a shot myself. I think if she gets her perfect touch, has a shot straight away, it could be a totally different story. But like you said, because she's taken that dodgy touch, she hasn't been able to do so. But like you said, we could have been able to have kind of won the game there.
It's just death. Yeah, that would have been done. It'd be game over.
It's fine margins, though.
Yeah,
I think sadly in football, which is it's just a sad. That sounds very cliche, I know, but like you say, it is fine margins. She could have had that shot and it could have came off because she could have had a perfect touch, and we wouldn't be talking about the fact that she could have passed it one more. But sadly, it didn't work out like that. But it didn't matter because then we had to go through extra time and then on to penalties.
I thought Sweden were a better time. I thought they looked the more likely to score in extra time, if I'm going to be honest. I don't know if it was in extra time or in the second half. England defensively, honestly, when Esme Morgan played that pass and Leah's just left it to go to, I thought, what are they doing? So this is you're just causing mayhem for no reason. But yeah, it looked destined for penalties. I couldn't see. I thought Sweden I thought the extra time helped them. I thought it did. I thought they. I know both teams were tired, but we'll come to the penalties because, like I said, it's not really a long stream. Let me come to chat quickly. Yeah, 1-7 Gooner. Yeah, listen, work commitments, and I didn't want to do the stream at 8 o'clock. Trust me, but I couldn't get home early enough, and Holly couldn't, do it on her own. Well, she could, but I think she would have missed me personally. I just throw that out there. Then mayhem happened in the shootout. Wow. I thought some of the penalties were terrible. I said that to Sophie and Kenny Ken and Demi. And I get it, they were tired, but with Beth hadn't been on the pitch long. Grace Clinton hadn't been on the pitch long. Holly, what? I don't even know how even to come to you with the penalties because this was just mayhem. I remember saying to Sophie and Demian, Hannah Hampton, this is your time. That was the exact words that came out of my mouth. This is your time. It's your time to become a hero. Great penalty by Russo to put us 1-0 up ahead in this shootout. Then a fantastic save from Hannah Hampton. And then carnage happened for the next 4 or 5 penalties from both sides. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. What was your thought? I couldn't believe it.
I'm not being funny. I genuinely think it was the worst set of penalties I've seen. I'm not even sugarcoating it. I genuinely thought it was. Awful. Every time someone stepped up to the ball, I didn't know whether it was going in or going over. And you're seeing, and I know you've just said about obviously players being tired, etc. But
some of them, the penalties, that's not an excuse.
I think the one I remember the most was Grace Clinton's. I'm thinking, mate, you've hit it like a pea roller. Like she's gonna save it. Pick your spot, go for it, hit it as hard as you can. Not try and tap it into the net. I was pulling my hair out.
It was. I mean, I'm going to be honest. Where I thought England, I thought this is not going to be their night. When I saw Alex Greenwood miss, I thought, oh my God. Then I thought England were done. Because from when Mrs. Reliable was missing, Mrs. Consistency, I thought, oh my God. Beth Mead missed. Lauren James missed.
Because I think she missed the first one, didn't she?
She did.
From what I remember.
Yes. Yeah. She missed the second penalty to go.
Second one, sorry. Yeah.
And at that point, Holly, I was thinking to myself, who hasn't taken one that could take one? Because at the point, I messaged Sophie and Dem. I said, I don't know what's going to happen here. Because both teams were hitting terrible penalties. I mean, I don't know. I mean, in terms of Sweden, I don't know what was going on for the goalkeeper to be taking the decisive penalty. I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
I think it was because obviously she saved so many. It was like, right, my name's going to be up in lights. I feel confident for this. I'm going to do it. But it was funny because obviously we were sat in the pub. I was getting ready for my doubles game. I was sat watching the football, and Jay went, "She's going to miss this. She's going to sky it." And then it must be like goalkeeper telepathy, because then she like absolutely skied it. And then obviously Bronze stepped up, and I like, she's smashing this straight into the net. Yeah. It was unreal. And again, we talk about the pressured moments. We need the old guard. We need the senior players to step up, and she did that all night. So full credit to Bronze. But yeah, the penalties. Honestly, I'm still sat here. My mind's still blown at how difficult we made it.
I mean, I think they had two opportunities to win. So they had the missed penalty from the goalkeeper, and you had I think it would have been the sudden death penalty when Hannah Hampton saved it. That was brilliant. She saved it onto the post. I thought, oh my God, I thought my heart can't take this anymore, bro. And then I'm thinking, who's next? Who hasn't taken one? I was all over the place. I said, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It's unbelievable. Fair play to Chloe Kelly, because that was a pressure penalty, because she misses that, they go home. And she's brilliant. Technique, brilliant. Sent the goalkeeper the wrong way. And I mean, for England to win it, it had to be a miss, because I don't know who would have took England's penalty after that. I mean, who was left? I think Ajiman hadn't taken one. Esme Morgan was there. Leah Williamson already gone off. I'm looking at it now. There wasn't many left, Holly. I mean, I'm trying to think who else hadn't taken one. I think that was it. I can't think of anybody else that hadn't taken one. But yeah, some of the penalties were awful. Sweden had it in their hands, man. 2-0 up in normal time. Chances to make it 3-0. Better team in the period of extra time. 2 chances to win it on the penalty shootout and blew them both. And the missed penalty, oh my God. I think the missed penalty summed it up for England to win it. It wasn't even close. And England are through. I mean, I was all over the place, man. I was gone. But England somehow, Holly, it's the semi-finals. There are some concerns, though. I don't know if Lauren James is okay. Leah Williamson, I'm not too sure. That might be touch and go. I'm not too sure. But Holly, I want to sort of wrap it up, though, because I want to go and watch the football and eat and the rest of it. Sorry, all the listeners to hear that if you haven't eaten already. I want to speak about one person, well, a couple people actually, but yes, our number one, Hannah Hampton. Lot of furore lot of talk before the start of the tournament. She's had her moments in England setup. She's been spoke about it quite openly. She's kind of struggled in the setup, and I think there were times there was sort of attitude or disciplinary issues, more so. I think more attitude wise, but she made some saves in regulation time that were important. People shouldn't forget that. She saved the penalty in the shootout to stop England going out the tournament. For a first major tournament as England number one, I think she's been exceptional, Holly. What's your thoughts?
Definitely. And I think the circumstances as well, in terms of a lot of talk about her not necessarily being as good as a certain other person.
Yeah.
But she's come in and absolutely taken it by storm. We talked about the last couple of shows about her distribution. Last night, we saw the fact that she can make big pressurized saves to send the team through. So for me, she's been absolutely incredible. And I honestly can't wait to see what else she can do in this tournament, because I think we talk a lot about in football about how the way we've got to deal with certain situations, be competent in pressurized situations. But I also think there is a little bit of element of luck, and it's how you ride that luck. And I think England have been very, well, I say lucky, but we've been very well to kind of deal with how we've been given that luck. We've been given our hand and we've managed to jump on it. And I think a lot of the time people kind of say, oh yeah, England are lucky, England are this, but it's how you deal with it, how you jump on it. And I think we've done a very good job with that. And I think Hannah Hampton, going back to your original point, has fully embraced the fact that she is now England's number one and has fully done herself a lot of good things. And I can't wait to see what else is to come against, obviously, Italy in the next round, which will be interesting, like you say, with all those injuries that are potentially over our heads. Hopefully they're not long term. Hopefully we can kind of deal with them before Tuesday. But it will be interesting to see what kind of happens next.
Yeah, I was over the moon for Hannah Hampton. Great in the presser when her phone goes off on FaceTime. Yeah, brilliant. She is a character. You can see she is. quick talk. Serena Wiegman, actually, I sent you the clip. I sent it to I mean, and I think it's an illustration. I think people saw it when I saw it on Sky Sports when I think Anton to Louis asked her the question, and she looked emotionally quite gone actually. And I just think it goes to show, Holly, you can be experienced, you can be a top level manager, you can have tactics, you can set teams up well, but nothing prepares you for what happened from 70 minutes onwards in extra time. Her head must be spinning even still. She looked very emotional in that little clip segment that I saw. It's like football could be humbling. They said it's true. But yeah, I've never seen Serena like that before. But that was a tough night for her, man. I think she found that a bit tough. Holly, your thoughts quickly.
Well, I think as well the fact that we were so exhausted, emotionally drained. Like, how on earth was she coping with it? And like you said, when you sent me the clip, I was like, mate, she looks like she's about to cry. Bless her.
She said it was
and I totally get it.
Yeah,
I totally get it. And it's just the fact that we've gone through that is going to set us up well in the next game, I hope. We know that if we dig deep, like we get a bit of luck or we find a bit of sublime moment through bronze or through Chloe Kelly, we can grind it out and potentially get the win. And I feel like that is going to give us a lot of stead coming up to the next couple of games that are going to be really difficult in this tournament because it's tournament football. Every game's difficult. But I think that was a big test for us. Managed to ride the wave and get it done.
Yeah, the Sweden are a very good side, man. They're a better side than I've seen for recent years. But they've had always some good players. But yeah, they really tested England yesterday. I think they're playing Italy on Tuesday. Have I got that right? Okay. I hope it's 8 o'clock because I need to get over that, man.
It is 8. It is 8.
Yeah. Italy will give them problems, you know. I was impressed with Italy against Norway. Italy let them get back into it. But even that was great drama, them getting that last minute winner. Fantastic header. But they can hurt England defensively. They can. I've seen enough of them. I think they've scored the first goal in all their games. And that'll be a test for England. I think Serena might have to look at the in terms of the players who she might pick because there might be a couple of injury concerns there. I think they got 4 days now, isn't it? Till that game. So yeah, rest them legs, man, because you've got to go again in the semi-final on Tuesday. But yeah, listen, like I said, Hannah Hampton, really happy for her. Lucy Bronze, I think I'd probably go as far as I think that's the best game I've seen her have an England shirt. I think she was that good. But Holly, I recommend you listen to this Football Daily. They did after the game yesterday. I've not watched it. I'll need to listen to it back to hear the aftermath of thoughts from the so-called experts, because I'm sure they must have been going crazy in the studio. Because trust me, Fran Williams and Ellen White were not happy at halftime, man. Especially Ellen White. Ellen White was fuming, man. But listen, Holly, we've got another show to do, man. But before we go, people, like I said, smash a like for me, for Albert JTV, and Holly's Hotspurs, and subscribe to Albert JTV and Holly's Hotspurs. And if you don't know what to do by now, people, this is what you should do. Roll the tape, people. There you have it, people. Audio listeners, funky music to subscribe to Albert JTV and Holly's Hotspurs. I'm not sure when I put this out on the audio, but you will definitely hear it at some point. UK time, Saturday, the 19th of July, people. So look out for that. And Holly, I'm sure my dear YouTube international wife co-host will also share that on her social media. So people look out for that. And Holly, we've got another show. What's that? 4 down, hopefully 2 to go. But yeah, England, like I said in the title, remarkable comeback for many different reasons. I think I'm still exhausted from watching the game last night. But yeah, we go again on Tuesday. Maybe it's the injury concerns, but England are somehow finding a way to win. Up the Lionesses, Albert JTV, Holly's Hotspurs, over and out.